What is he gonna do? Gonna cheese?
I would hope not. I want to see like a crazy macro game. Like, Show's been really good with drops, splitting forces. TLO, who's been sort of like, I guess meandering the middle of the map for a lot of these games, wouldn't be able to without lava surge as a threat. But okay, we are in this. This is a best of 7 brought to you by Base Rate TV, brought to you by NOG, the National Association of United Gamers. But more importantly than that, it's game number 4. TLO currently leading the series 3-0, means this is potentially the last life of Sjow. We'll see how this plays out. I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zombie Grub, as well as our amazing cameraman, our production connoisseur. It is Partoof. But, Zombie Grub, would you mind starting off the actual player introductions?
In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, is going to be Liquid's TLO.
And I thought I would have that in time. Hang on, I'm trying to get the Twitters, because we didn't do Twitters at all today. You can find this gentleman on Twitter at LiquidTLO. And his opponent in the upper left, playing for the team property. We were wondering if he'd be Protoss or Terran, but he certainly showed us while he's not winning. He hasn't forgotten how to play Terran. It is the blue player, Sjow. You can find him on Twitter at property or at prop Sjow. Of course, prop is his team property. See their little icons and logos displayed around their command center buildings. It's kind of I love that GameHeart does that. I think it's so cool. Maybe the stronger team colors aren't working. Fine, whatever. But at least we still get the cool effects of what's on the map. Now, New Polaris Rhapsody, if you guys missed it earlier, it's got all this huge area in the middle of the map where lava comes once every 5 minutes for about 10 seconds. Now, from what I understand, it does not kill creep tumors, but it will kill any units standing within it. So if you're in lava, expect to die.
Yeah, and that's why a macro game on this is so rare to see and also exciting to see, is that you actually see units in the middle of the map and having to leave the low ground, as opposed to what we saw the last time, which was only a one-base DT in a very short game where the lava really didn't have any effect.
What's really cool too, I just want to throw this out there, is of course we had one of our people in chat basically throw up an extra bounty rather than directly donating to like a prize pool. Akurasi basically said if TLO can pull out a 4-0, because of course Akurasi is a Zerg player, obviously rooting for TLO, said he'll throw in another $30 for the prize, which is really cool. So this is already an amazing prize pool for both these players to compete with. Even the loser walks away with like 75, 80 bucks or something like that. So I think this has been a good day for both players. Very profitable, at least for TLO, if he can win this.
Definitely, and he is 3-0. He's definitely got the momentum. It's a weirder map, so we're gonna have to see who plays on the weird maps better. But then most people would say that Liquid TLO would be probably the one to do that.
I would love to see, this is so silly because I don't know if we'd get to, but I'd love to see a Nidus Worm come in at TLO on this one.
Oh, this map would be really good for a Nidus Worm. Yeah,
it circumvents the lava, and it's also something he's been known to do in the past. Not frequently, of course, but whether it's roaches or swarm hosts, actually, I'll take this back even further. Back when it was still beta, we'd see TLO play. You'd see him like swarm host on Daybreak with Nidus Worms, with roaches, and just get right in the face of a Terran player. Nothing sneaky, just like straight up in the natural base, thrown on like a Nidus Worm.
Yeah. It's also not just like that it circumvents the lava, but there's so much dead space off to the left, off to the right. Like the right, where would you ever put anything over there?
Sorry, I was listening to the adjutant. She does announce the lava flow coming in 3 seconds. Lava hype! TLO, yes ma'am. So of course in the middle of the map, there's nothing here right now, but if there was, it would die to this lava surge. So as you guys can see on the mini-map, anything currently orange is, you can't walk on it basically. If you do, you're dead. So yeah, lasts for about 5-10 seconds, lowers out. So it's not like a stay safe for the whole map, but it's kind of neat because it means that you can't, siege up outside your opponent's base and look to retreat. You might be caught in the bad end. TLO might have a lot of banelings on this half of the map and can't cover them because you can't retreat them away. There's a lot of pros and cons to the lava, and it's a certainly interesting dynamic. As far as being balanced, I don't think anyone can argue it's going to be balanced. It's a completely new, weird, and different mechanic.
Well, okay, so first of all, we have Sjow going for double starport.
Yeah, in base too, not a proxy.
But secondly, like with the new, people are really getting into map making. They really want to see new maps in Brood War. They're always like, harking back to the Brood War and how interesting those maps were, and they certainly were. I mean, they had like, teamless, like, not Plague, but the other thing, Blinding Cloud, whatever it was called in Brood War, and like stuff like that. It was really cool. But we haven't seen a pure air map yet, like an island map. That's one thing we haven't seen anyone try and do.
Well, island maps kind of I don't know, not the most impressive style of play, I guess we could call it. I don't know.
It's really,
But,
it's not great for Zerg.
No. Well, maybe with Mutalisk nowadays, right?
Well, just
But-
like you have to get to Mutalisk for, like, I don't know. It was interesting to have in Brood War. Just like I don't think anyone ever actually played it, but it was at least a custom map in Brood War.
Well, to answer a quick question here in chat, someone asked, what was the prize pool? I missed it, I just tuned in. It's $180 for first place and $80 for second between these two players. So nobody walks away today empty-handed at the very least. But those Banshees are on the way here in a moment. Cloak is finished up, and sadly, Queens, while decent, even without Cloak, 1-on-1 a Banshee wins. 2-on-1 a Banshee destroys.
And he's not in no position to start scouting this. His Overlord's off to the right. Oh, he does move an Overseer. I think he'll be able to see this. Yeah, he'll definitely see it. He'll just go right across, see the Banshees, see the double tech labs. And it will Sjow actually be able to do anything. The Spire's already ready. He's waiting for 4 Banshees, which will give enough time for the Spire to finish. Still a bit of a lull between the Spire finishing and the Mutas, arriving, but I feel like he should have gone with the two Banshees.
Well, one thing for TLO, I do like that it's getting map control on the other side of the field. I mean, Ling's dancing around might not seem like a lot, but these bases are incredibly spread out. This is not like your pocket third. It's very far away, and of course, the last thing you want to do is have to perhaps worry about running through lava to defend your bases.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Banelings, TLO's doing something standard, and I feel like he's just playing the map as you would.
This is so weird.
Like, whatever, but I feel Sjow is just not only playing the map, but, also just, doing something funky just because it is, his last game, and he's gonna, possibly could really
his last
surprise
game.
TLO.
Small shout out to someone in chat joining us, Kita-chan1, the most adorable person on Twitch, hands down. But Banshees are coming in hard, and this is, again, even with the Spore Crawlers coming down like this is 4 Banshees, guys. This is not something to be taken lightly. Look at them destroy Banelings like it's nothing. Queens don't really stand a chance either. And this is so many Spore Crawlers coming down. He could actually focus fire a couple of these down before they finish. Instead, gonna go for the workers. And Mosey's on over to the natural.
Well, the Muta's are already here.
But Cloak is done. If he takes out the Spore Crawler, never mind. Here's the Overseer, I take it back. Yeah.
Oh, he needs to actually get into range. He is actually, never mind. Oh!
TLO just barely making it past the lava to get to that third base. It will lift, but the lava doesn't come this high. So these Zerglings are actually stranded at the moment, awkwardly enough. But the Banshees, okay, they get some pretty decent kills, but it wasn't exactly anything close to cost-effective. I think this is going to sound so silly. If there was no Overseer, no Spore Crawler, if you could have gotten that Spire, that would have been huge. Because that's the majority of what TLO wants to bulk up on. Tons and tons of Mutalisks.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still worth 4 Banshees, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not looking very good for Sjow. That build really, is good because you can do a lot of damage by surprising your opponents, or maybe if you don't surprise them, you can get some type of damage going if they don't have fast enough Mutalisk. But, just being shut down so hard like that, Show's definitely behind, and now he has a tough time getting his third down.
Ooh, but I do like these 2 Banshees going towards the main. There's no anti-air there, and he should be able to get some more kills. Wouldn't mind some Marines going to have to hold this base, but I don't think they can. They're not burrowed. They do get taken out, and unfortunately, Sjow will lose his third. That being said, I don't know that TLO can really push it into in the game just yet, though. There's a bunker. There's a lot of defense down. And awkwardly enough, this supply depot wall around the bunker is cute, but it doesn't protect from run-bys. There's still that gaping hole right next to it.
So many Spore Crawlers going down in the main, just covering all of his bases. Oh, the Spore Crawler is gonna not go down, so he doesn't have to run away from it. Banshees do take out, or not Banshees, the Mutas take out the 3rd command center, putting Sjow back down to just 2.
This is actually, to record, I think the longest this map's been played out, by the way. Almost 3 lava surges. Okay, some drones died, some drones were made into Spore Crawlers. TLO's still on 62, though, and he's moving on to 4 bases right now. Sjow is not in a position where he can really pressure any of this, but he's going for bio once again, and he has displayed several times. He's very skilled with bio. There's no questioning that. But at this point, you're playing 2 bases. You don't have drops in your favor. There's hella Spore Crawlers. What can you really do?
Try and play a normal game? I mean, he's not actually down in supply by that much, surprisingly, after that.
No, but his economy is going to be taking a big hit the longer he doesn't get that third up, right?
Right, like, the longer the game goes on, the worse he'll be, but at least he's going to have something on the other side of the map with these 2 drops. He knows the Mutalisk go over here, so the drops will be very effective. Needs to make sure they actually drop in a decent place, so away from all the Spore Crawlers that TLO made.
Oh, Medivacs do get sniped off there. I guess that's kind of a good thing, though, too. With all the spore crawlers, there's no ground defense. There's no spine crawlers. It's just anti-air. So the Marines, if they get out, could go unattended for a little bit. But yeah, Medivacs will not live to see an escape.
Oh, that was perfect positioning of the spore crawlers, taking out both Medivacs.
Yeah.
And the Marines are down there, though, so the drones do have to pull. And are there any banelings? You know, because just lings are not going to be able to take care of them. There's absolutely nothing.
There's Mutalisks being pulled, but the Mutalisks are actually being popped. Drones coming back in, a bit of a mistake. TLO perhaps thinking he could have cleaned that up a little bit easier. Here comes the giant flock, so no longer harassing the main end at the cost of a base from TLO. He's still on 3 bases, don't get me wrong, but that base snipe was actually something Sjow really needed to reassert himself in this game.
Yeah. TLO finally starting to produce some ground army. It's still not very high in the ling count at all, and that's why he's down by 20 supplies. That it's literally his army is Mutalisk, and I guess technically the Queens.
Spine crawlers were erected here at the new, I guess the official 3rd, but the actual 4th. But no spore crawlers, ironically enough.
Well, there's a lava surge in 20 seconds. Will anyone be baited out into it? Doesn't seem like it. Sjow very hesitant to push out, knowing that lava will eventually get here.
Well, at this point, too, between Mutalisks and the drops, the lava surge is not that big of a threat, but we're going to science and see if creep tumors do get killed by this or not. I think they don't.
It already happened, so...
Actually, it's not in range of it. Damn it. I thought that creep tumor was, but Mutalisks, of course, just flying across the lava. They don't care. They're in the air, not on the ground. So 3 lava surges. I believe that's a new record of all games ever played on this map.
Ooh, oh no, the command center. Luckily, the Marines are there, just barely. And TLO is just making sure that the supply isn't that high, but it doesn't matter because Sjow's having a very difficult time pushing out, knowing that Mutas can backstab so easily.
Yeah, it's here we are in the main. There's no turrets down. There's no building armor. He's going to lose his 2-2, which is going to be devastating when you're trying to contend with this. Lots of changelings actually to hold position in the choke point, so Sjow can't even run back into this. So instead, he's just going to go full on across the map, saying, all right, you know what? You forced my hand. I'm going to do what I can. These spine crawlers will buy a lot of time. They'll kill, quite frankly, a lot of the Marines. And despite having 2 starports with 2 reactors, 4 medevacs at a time, not going to cut it. On the way back home, TLO saying, okay, wait, I perhaps can't just base trade with Mutalisks. That's a lot of Marines, and they do take out the spine crawlers like they're nothing at all. Meanwhile, drop towards the south takes out the other hatchery, so this actually beats TLO back in a big way.
It definitely does. Once again, only Mutalisks, the Lings finally starting to come out. No Badelings have been made. That's very uncommon in TVZ. Now just morphing in. Sjow has been severely supply blocked this entire time, so he is really banking a lot of money, not using it for much at all.
There are about 6 banelings, but is that even going to be enough? They're going to roll forward. Sjow stroked on the ramp, trying to focus them down. Does survive the most of the Oh, the last hit was so good! And that's the army of Sjow, crippled and dead. However, we look back at home. The starports might still be burning, but a lot of the tech labs, the reactor is still standing. He can't actually get to repair it because of the changelings. The starport's going to go down.
Like, not only the repair going down, but just in general, getting the Marines over there is not going to be very possible. And unfortunately, Sjow not throwing down any turrets over there means that it will be very acceptable to anything Mutalisk-wise. But 4th or 3rd, rather, is also going to go down here, maybe? The Marines are coming forth. The repair is going down. No, I don't believe he'll be able to get it. Just attacks Marines head-on, but without any banelings. That's
going to cost him. Oh man, so many of these Mutalisks are in the red. 1 hit from death, but unfortunately, as we all know, if you don't kill the Mutalisk, you might as well not have done any damage to it, because it will regen very quickly. But this is something I gotta give Sjow credit for. He gets in these situations where it looks so one-sided, this game is over in 2 seconds type thing, but instead brings himself back. This is why I hate that he swapped to Protoss, because I love watching his Terran play, and quite frankly, he is, despite the fact he's been playing Protoss all month, still, I don't know, I think he's performing quite well.
Yeah, I think so too. Of course, we don't know what his pros are like. They could be really good.
It just bums me out that the results today aren't going to reflect it. This is going to look like a 4-0 sweep from TLO, and, well, I mean, that's what matters in the end, but it's not like this was so one-sided that Sjow was just choked out and dead in 3 minutes. No, still pushing, still countering, pressuring the other half of the map, has drawn the Mutalisks away from his own base.
I don't know if this will be a 4-0. TLO's having a difficult time. Sjow just keeps on attacking with these very large armies, and TLO never seems to have enough of a ground army to deal with it. Still on 4 bases as he took the one on the bottom left. I believe that's gone unscouted by Sjow, but, oh, no, never mind. I thought the top right for Sjow would be unscouted, but the moves do find it.
Yeah, finally get more turrets down too. Something's definitely needed. No building armor, sadly, can't afford to skip the upgrades for it, but that would be really nice to have against this constant Mutalisk attack harass. Widowmine's gonna go off on some of these Zerglings. Lots of Banelings coming. These Widowmines are not burrow coming from behind are the Mutalisk. And the low ground evacuation. Even if Sjow cleaned this up, he'd have to. He can't retreat. No medevacs. He loses everything on this half of the map.
Yeah, and there wasn't really any splitting right there. The Banelings are getting
Zerglings
too
are gonna
good of
die.
Connections.
TLO actually just lost maybe like 4 Zerglings, not a big deal, but still, Mutalisk can't kill this base. There's a lot of Marines, there's missile turrets out the wazoo, and this drives him back immediately.
Tutu's also going to finish for Sjow. He's been without it for a very long time. What are the upgrades for our Zerg player? Tutu as well, and neither Hive's not in sight, so it could be finally a case where Sjow is ahead in the 3-3 as it should be in a TVZ.
4 lava surges. We're gonna set the record, Zombie Grub. No one's gonna beat us.
Okay.
Mutalisk came back to the main though, will get on top of the production, and Sjow this time doesn't have a counterattack to draw the attention away. And unfortunately, with the way the base is sorted, this is such a terrible choke. He does have his 2-2 finally, something he's been lacking for a very long time, but gonna lose the capability to go for 3-3 as TLO takes out those upgrades. This Mutalisk flock has been such an annoyance for the entirety of this game, but looks like Sjow is gonna maybe draw him back again. This is a big force coming down the left side of the map. There's Banelings rolling in, but there's not a lot of them.
I'm not sure why Sjow is going for 2 more starports. Actually wondering... Oh, yes, he lost all of them and never rebuilt them.
Yeah.
That's why his medevacs are so low.
Marauders need, of course, buffer for these Banelings coming from behind. Shjow's already split up quite nicely, though, but if he splits up too thinly, then the Mutalisk can walk on top of this, as we see happening right now. And the army being absolutely exploded on. This time not getting any damage done, unlike the previous attacks. 4 bases still stand. One awkward Marauder in the middle of the map.
Awkward Penguin Marauder.
Really is. Unfortunately, though, Sjow is, if he could have gotten that, like, he's got the 4th base up now, but it's not a planetary. It doesn't have turrets around it. If this had been mining at this point, he'd still be in this game in a good way. He's got a 3K gas bank, but what are you going to do without his Terran? When you play Bio, who cares about gas? It's all about the minerals, and his production is, I don't know. It's kind of feeling like it's at its limits.
Well, what's really hurting him here is, those 2 attacks, they did no marine splitting, and then the third is just no medevacs. He forgot the starports for so long, and only really realized that he didn't have any medevacs until it was too late. So even now, no medevacs. The 1 medevac that popped out instantly got killed. There's no drops, there's no threat of drops, and TLO knows it.
Missile turrets just getting taken out. There's too many Mutalisks at this point. 36 are just one-shotting the turrets, and this base will fall. Sjow has no mining in his natural. He's got no mining in his main. This looks to be the last push as the SCVs have been rallied with this. Or wait, are they going home now? Oh, he's just transferring the command center in a very awkward base.
Oh,
okay.
That is an awkward base.
Might get away with it, but this is still a really large push that TLO can't easily deal with. He does have to make sure he gets the good Baneling connections off. If the Marauders soak the hits and the Marines still stand, there's a lot of Widowmines on top of this too. This is not an easy mode defense for TLO, but he's got the bigger army. He's got the overwhelming army. Oh, and the Widowmines do go off on a lot of those Lings. Not a lot of buffer left on the ground, but this is so many Banelings. 28 about to roll in on top of this army. Sjow is splitting, but even if he survives this, the Mutalisks are still in the 30s. And that's everything for Sjow now. This is looking to be maybe that 4-0 we were talking about.
I think
TLO,
so.
of course. Well, he's going to be happy to get that extra $30 on top of the 180 he's winning already, but the base is going to go down. Sjow has no more mining. Good game will be called, and a tap out will happen. TLO will take a 4-0 victory in this Sjow match.
Very nicely done by TLO. Of course, you have to remember that Sjow not showing his best Terran ever, but still pretty darn good. I mean, TLO is a great player, and he gave him at least some type of, run for his money. Literally.
I do feel Sjow, for like a lot of his career, has been really undervalued for how good he is. I mean, again, guys, it may have been a 4-0, but look at each of those games. None of them were so one-sided that it was like, LOL, Sjow, get out, right? Like, he danced with TLO. He matched as best he could. But that being said, we're going to squeeze in some ads while we get the interview set up. TLO is going to come talk with Gillyweed for a short little interview. Zombie Grub, it's up to you if you want to stick around through that. If you need to take off or anything. Well, do you need to take off or anything?
No.
Okay, cool. So we'll get the interview stuff sorted out, guys. Play some ads while we get the overlay sent to part 2 and all these wonderful things. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Thanks for watching today.